What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV back here for another Tottenham update for you guys. The way we left it last night, Daniel Levy was ignoring that deadline that Bayern Munich set of midnight last night. But we did hear as well the deadline was complete fallacy as well. But Brian, we got Brian Daigle here with us today to fill you in of the details that have been going on since then. But how you doing, Brian?
I am doing good, brother. On location today, but doing good. How about you, bro?
I'm all good, man. I'm all good. Fairly good. Signings are coming in. They might not be, players that can fit straight into the first team, but I definitely think Van der Ven is a top signing for Spurs. So, but before we get into Van der Ven, let's start on the Harry Kane situation. Jason Burt of the Telegraph saying that Daniel Levy has ignored Bayern's midnight deadline for their final bid to Tottenham for Harry Kane, and has flown out to the USA. Now up to Bayern whether they carry through with their threat or withdraw the offer. Rahman Osman saying that Bayern have booked Harry Kane's medical, having submitted a fresh £86.24 million bid for the striker in the last 2 hours, but will walk away from the deal if Spurs insist he is not for sale. Tottenham chairman Daniel Levy will take the time to respond, but he has moved from outright rejecting bids to thinking about the latest offer. And Bild are saying that Daniel Levy ignored Bayern's deadline for the final Harry Kane offer, and he is now going on holiday in Miami for 2 weeks. But they did correct that, and they said Daniel Levy has gone to Miami, but just for the weekend where his family are staying for a fortnight. Levy may have also flown to Florida to discuss with Tottenham owner Joe Lewis how to proceed with the Harry Kane deal. I mean, do they not realise Joe Lewis isn't the owner anymore, Build? A bit of crazy reporting there from them. But what do you make out of all that?
So first of all, to add to the craziness, someone sent me a photo. Now, this could be complete nonsense, but someone sent me a photo saying they know someone. And you know when you have to get passports now for your pets to move abroad?
Yeah.
Being serious, apparently this person has seen going through the list Harry Kane's dogs. I mean, it could be another bit of nonsense. Let's just say it's nonsense, but you know these things are going to come out. The other thing I've heard about why Daniel Levy is in America is I think a family member is actually representing someone in the Maccabi games that are getting played out there.
Oh, right.
So he could be getting on a plane to see a family member. Listen, the journalism on this has been. I mean, the Germans have shown us how to do it from their side. The stories we're hearing from our side. What I do believe, correct with you, is that this timeline and this deadline is an absolute nonsense.
Yeah,
it's an absolute nonsense to add to the tension and build the pressure, and it cause our stress levels and blood pressure to go through the roof. Lazy journalism is at its finest with the Harry Kane saga, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it really is. And you just don't know where to turn. I mean, every single publication is saying a different price. Everyone's saying something else. You just don't know what to believe at this stage. But in your opinion, do you still think this deal gets done?
I do. And I'm only saying that because if I think the worst and it doesn't happen, I'm happy. Rather than being the other way around. I mean, my dad turned around to me a minute ago. I'm with my dad today, and he goes, £120 million. I was like, what are you talking about? He goes, Brian, I'm just reading your Twitter. And I was like, oh, thank God. It was something from yesterday. I thought we'd heard a new offer have come in. Yeah, I still think with this deadline being a nonsense, it's put the ball back in Bayern's court for me. Like I've said, I don't want it to happen. I do not want it to happen. But I just have this feeling it will.
I kind of get the same feeling as well, to be honest. I think it will happen. I think that if Levy was going to reject it, he probably would have rejected it out of hand, and we probably have known about that by now. And I think he's just making them sweat, making them wait for all the nonsense that they've put us through this whole summer. So look, how do you see it planning out tomorrow with the friendly, though? Do you think we see Harry Kane? Is he going to play? I mean, maybe they just want to play him just to make Bayern sweat even more.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is the thing. Just tomorrow, if he's not in the starting 11, the press are going to have a field day. If he is in the starting 11, the press are going to have a field day. But you've got to start thinking now, with a player of this size transfer, do you risk playing him and picking up an injury? Do you risk him pulling his hamstring or anything? We all know that we've been talking at, oh my God, Harry Kane, he's been injury-free for so long, and then he'll play this game, and then something will happen. I mean, whatever way is shaped for Harry Kane tomorrow, the press are going to have a field day, aren't they? There's no getting away from it.
Yeah. And, I hope Ange has cancelled the post-match press conference as well, because he knows there's even if Harry Kane's not playing, there's only going to be one topic of question really batting his way. But we'll see what happens tomorrow. It is, what is it?
Yep.
2 o'clock kickoff tomorrow.
Yes.
At the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in our second to last friendly before we fly out to Barcelona the next day. But let's talk about some potential done deals. Let's still go to Mickey van der Ven, as Mike from the Telegraph out in Holland is saying that paperwork is complete between Spurs and Wolfsburg over Mickey van der Ven. Tottenham will pay 40 million euros as a fixed fee and a maximum of 7.5 million euros in add-ons. The player flies to London on Sunday. Romano just saying the same stuff, saying Van der Ven will fly to London on Sunday with a small change in plan. Deal done and set to be announced next week. And Charlie Eccleshare says Van der Ven is hoping to be at the friendly tomorrow against Shakhtar. Medical is planned for Monday, and he's flying to London tomorrow and will likely be at the game as things stand. So do you reckon he probably won't get announced at the game, will he? Because it hasn't been fully signed, sealed and delivered.
Ben, you know what? I don't know, because I've seen a couple of things today that said he's flying in today, as opposed to tomorrow.
Apparently that's what they were saying originally, but things have changed and now he's flying in tomorrow.
Of course. EasyJet didn't have any flights today, so they've changed. No, listen,
Daniel Levy didn't want to give him his air miles.
All I can say is I'm just delighted we got him done.
Yeah.
He is, even if we could have got Tapsoba, Tosin, sorting out that left centre-back was, for me, priority number one for this window. And Andrew's got his man. He wanted him at Celtic. He wanted him here. It may have taken a long time to get it done, but it is done. And we can now play Andrew's high line with a lot more safety, with the rapid pace that man's got, the aerial dominance, the presence he holds. This I think is a great bit of business.
Yeah, I agree. I think it is a great bit of business, but I am worried in the short term, because I think Van der Ven, as much as I rate him as a player, and as much as I rate him coming through in the future and being a top player for us over the coming years, I do feel it might take him a bit of a bedding in time for the Premier League, and maybe we might see a few mistakes early on. So I would say to the Spurs fan base, just, don't be too harsh on him early on, because he is very young. He is very new to the Premier League. And I hope he doesn't, but I think that it might take him a bit of time to settle in, to be honest. I don't know. Do you think he's going to take to the Premier League like a duck to water?
Well, listen, we all know it takes time. Sometimes you're only the elite come in. I mean, you look at people like Bergkamp, Henry, Hasselbank, and all that. They all took their little bit of time to settle in. But then you have people like Jurgen Klinsmann, or someone that comes in the elite and then just sets the world on fire. I think whether he's better than what we've got. And also the good thing that I think he has an advantage over us is, if you look over Davinson Sanchez, Davies, Dyer, not only do we know they're better, he has had a full pre-season with Wolfsburg. He has been playing games. He has been training non-stop. It hasn't been because of an injury or not getting minutes. So I reckon fitness-wise, he's ready to go. It's just getting used to the team and whatever. And against Brentford away, they're a physical team, aren't they? And having a 6'4" rapid defender there that they can't prepare to say, oh, attack his weaknesses. You don't know anything. So I think obviously Manchester United second game, that's going to be a test. But yeah, he deserves time, and I think we have bought a wonderfully gifted player with so much room to develop. It's only positives for me for him.
Yeah, no, look, I do agree. I was just saying, maybe just have a bit of patience with him early on.
Oh, everyone.
Yeah, but what you do say, that's absolutely correct, is he improves us straight away. He's miles better than anyone, bar Romero, that we have in that back line. Correct. So, you got to say it's a positive all round, 100%.
Yeah.
Next up, Alejo Veliz. Tonight, he travels to London to join Tottenham Hotspur as well. So another one coming through. I don't know what's happened. In the last month, we heard no news whatsoever, and suddenly everyone's just coming in.
The trust.
The trust.
There you go. But yeah, Felice is coming in, isn't he? So you say he's flying in tonight?
Apparently so, yeah.
Oh my God, Heathrow's going to be very, very privileged with Spurs players coming in the next few days, isn't he? What have you made of him?
I mean, I haven't seen much of him. I'm going to be completely honest, but the reaction I'm hearing, like I heard Tim Vickery speaking, he didn't really fill me with much confidence. We had Herman from TYC Sport that called in, who, spoke a bit more highly of him, likened him to Peter Crouch, but then also likened him to Hernan Crespo, which I didn't really get that one.
Oh yeah, you told me that on the phone.
Yeah. And
What an image.
you've heard Messi liken him to Luis Suarez. I mean, you've heard a lot of different comparisons, and Tim Vickery was brought up an interesting point, and he said you do get players, young players that come over from South America and really do like get to grips with the European game and play well, but not many of the kind of style of player that Veliz is. And what the style of player is, he's a big, tall target man, doesn't really do much in the build-up play, but he's there to finish off, and he's a monster in the air with his headers and stuff like that. So I don't know really what to make of him. I think no one will know really what to make of him until we actually see him on the pitch, to be honest.
Well, this is the thing as well, Ben. And I saw someone, I'll try and send it to you later, put a massive thread about him. I don't even know if you saw it on Twitter. And that was that felt me or built me with a lot more confidence, because he really did break it down. But obviously that's the way he interprets it. But again, like you and I had that debate with Raya and the goalkeeper when I went mad, and then if this is a data-driven purchase, which I believe it is because this has come out of nowhere, they've obviously analysed the data for what Ange wants.
Yeah.
And if Ange has said this guy fits the attributes I need, the club have backed Ange. And Ange has got the man he wanted. So on that note, it can only grab me with confidence, because it looks like we are steering towards that kind of approach to transfers, doesn't it?
No, 100% seems that way. And for everyone that complains about these kind of transfers, the same people were saying, why don't we use data to try and get our targets in? So we're doing that now. So I guess you can't really have too many complaints, can you?
Exactly. And I was one of them. Remember, I went nuts at the studio when we didn't get. I went absolutely for a change. I went mad, and I stepped back and said I was wrong. And this looks like when everyone else signs a South American wonder kid, and he got called the wonder kid, didn't he? They're like, oh yeah, here he comes, samba beats and all that. And then this guy's coming. It's like, we can't have it both ways. We can't have it both ways. So I don't think he's going to start straight away, is he? So we'll have to wait and see. But it's exciting.
Yeah, we just need to. I mean, I say we need to be patient with Van der Ven. I mean, this guy we really need to be patient with. An 18-year-old kid coming from Argentina. So
the Hernan Crespo, Peter Crouch, with a twist of Suarez.
Yeah, doesn't sound bad though, does it?
That's like Snog, Marry, Avoid, isn't it? It's like Jesus Christ, bloody hell! But yeah, we look forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk about Taremi now. As Pedro Sepulveda is saying, it's true, Tottenham want Taremi. Inter Milan and AC are also interested, but Porto don't want to sell for less than 30 million euros. Nicolo Shearer saying George Mendes is working on a move for Mehdi Taremi, who could leave Porto. Tottenham are interested in him and have open talks. The striker asked for a contract until 2026 with an option for 2027. And this one doesn't really make sense to me. He's a good player. I'm not saying he's not. Last couple of years in the Portuguese league, he scored 20 plus goals. He really impressed me in the World Cup with Iran as well. And every time I've seen him play, he always seems to score, and he definitely knows where the back of the net is. But with him being 31 years old, can you really see Spurs splashing out 30 million on a 31-year-old, especially one that wants a contract until 2027?
Yeah, this is the thing as well. This is what, first of all, throws the Harry Kane doubt back into. If we're seriously looking at strikers of this kind of caliber, he'll want first team football. So it throws that into it. And if you look at it, we've just been speaking about data driven. All the data driven that we're doing has been on youth. It's been on young prospects coming through. I can't see it being young. Right, let's go to the other side of the spectrum. He's a very good player. I've been very impressed with what I've seen of him. And like you said, he always does seem to pop up with the goal when it's needed. I just don't think this one's got any weight behind it whatsoever.
Yeah, me as well, to be honest. And it makes a lot more sense, in my opinion, for him to go to like an Inter Milan or an AC Milan, where, they're more accepting of taking these players of over 30, when Spurs, they have done it in the past, but mainly just like free transfers. They don't really like to spend money on these kind of players with no sell-on value in the future. And I don't really think this is going to happen. But actually, just before we do move on, I was reading these quotes from a interview with Ange from 2022. I think he was still the Celtic manager, and he was saying, like, in the Asian market, in Iran and the Middle East and all these places, there are like lots of talents that have been like untapped talents that would definitely do well in Europe. And so maybe if they are trying to follow what Ange wants, maybe this player is a viable option now I'm thinking about it.
Well, I will say that again. The only thing that swings it off me is the age. Like you said, we don't spend big. And if you're looking for Harry Kane's successor, you don't go buy someone older than him because you're going to be. So that's the only thing that throws me off of that. Where it comes to what Ange is saying, I keep reverting back to when Wenger went to Arsenal. All right, it was France, but no one knew the France market like he did. He came in. Who knew Vieira? Who knew Petit? Who knew Lauren? Who knew Anelka? We have a manager right now that is probably the best, has the best knowledge of that side of the world and the talent coming out of it. So surely there's an avenue for us to pursue down there. And we've seen there are some extraordinary talent there. We've got a Heung-min Son from that part of the world. There is extreme talent there. Look at Kim Min-jae. There is brilliant talent there. It's just identifying them. And we've got someone with their fingers to the pulse, and Scott Munn, if he ever decides to start working or is allowed to start working, that have got there. So it's all about advantages, isn't it? And we have a big advantage over others with that market.
Yeah, very true. And let's move on to the final story of the update, and that is another signing that is signed, sealed, and delivered. And he goes by the name of Ashley Phillips. Fabrizio Romano says that Tottenham have sealed Ashley Phillips' deal despite interest from two more clubs. Official and completed. The 2005-born centre-back signed on a 5-year deal. Clause triggered was 2 million total value, and the signing has been approved by Ange Postecoglou. And I'll just read you the statement on the website. And it says, "We are delighted to announce the signing of Ashley Phillips from Blackburn. The centre-back has signed a deal with the club that will run until 2028. Ashley, 18, started his youth career at National League North side Curzon Ashton before joining Blackburn as a 12-year-old in 2017. The defender quickly progressed through the Rovers Academy, featuring regularly for the under-18s at just age 15 and making his under-23 debut the following season at age 16. In 21-22, he went on to make 11 appearances in the Premier League 2 and spending most of the campaign training with the first team squad, making the bench for their FA Cup third round tie at Wigan in January 2022. Ashley's first team debut came in the Carabao Cup fourth round win over Hartlepool in August, becoming the fourth youngest player in Blackburn's history at 17 years old and 45 days, and made his championship debut against West Brom a few days later. The centre-back went to make 8 first-team appearances in the league and a further 6 in the cup competitions last term, with further recognition coming at the end of 22-23 season when he was awarded the LFE Championship Apprentice of the Season. On the international stage, Ashley has represented England at under-17 and under-19s level, recently captaining the under-18s against Norway at the International Tournament of Lisbon in June 2023. So quite a player, it seems like we've got. Obviously, very young. I'm not sure what kind of first team action he'll get this season, but watching his interview when he first signed this morning, he did mention that he's hoping that he will get some first team action this season.
So, first of all, centre-backs at Spurs are like London buses, it seems. You wait for ages and then 2 have come at once. I am absolutely ecstatic about this transfer. I even tweeted the year is 2028. Spurs are walking out of the tunnel. This man has the captain's armband. You know me with my Alfie Divine love. This guy, you got to remember. Well, first of all, I've got a Blackburn Rovers friend in Toronto, so asked him a few, and he used to speak about him last season as well, but obviously it didn't really register until it was like, oh, it's him. This player, you got to remember, he was 17 years old and playing in the Championship, and being one of the best players or defenders in the Championship, and we all know how tough, fast, quick pace, physical that league is. We've wanted to go down youth, and we've moaned that our youth isn't bringing any through. And all right, it's not a homegrown as in one of our own, but this is a kid that was available for 2 million, or we found out it is now 2 million. But this is what we should be doing. When players like this become available that have got a very big potential, go and get them. And we did. And do you know what? And I'm going to say it now because I was going mad when it fell apart. Well done, Tottenham Hotspur. And all involved for dragging it out or doing what you did and getting it down to 2 million. I went nuts when we heard that Tosin this and this fell through. Well done, Tottenham Hotspur, because this guy he has got so, you can even see how he conducted himself in that interview. He is going to be fantastic. I am so happy with this transfer. He's one of my favourite transfers this window.
Wow. I mean, that's very high praise and expectation for him. But being 18 years old, only eight appearances in the Championship last year. How much game time do you expect him to see at Tottenham this season, if any?
Yeah, the year before he made a few more appearances for Blackburn. Last year he had a few injuries, but yeah, he only made a few. Do you know what? The way you look at this with him is, I don't know if we send him out on loan again to get more minutes. The most important thing for me was to get his signature and tie down to a contract. We know at the moment, listen, it is, our defence is a mess right now. And to say, right, off you plop, in you go, and go set the world alight, we cannot mismanage this or put too much pressure on them from the get-go. It's just going to be fantastic to have him around. Do you know what, as well? You can see it right now, the future being Dorrington and him. If they get to play a lot of youth team football together, or the under-23s, whatever you want to call it now, maybe if they have a loan out and then they come back next summer, who knows? But Dorrington is one for the future, and I've got a lot of hopes for him. But Phillips, the size of him, the aggression of him, I think I can't say I want to see him in cup games right now, because I've been saying that we have to take these cup competitions seriously. We're not in Europe. We need to get a trophy. So do you go, right, here you go, 17-year-old, off you go. I'm just ecstatic we got his signature. And like I said, well done Tottenham for doing it. How he gets into the team, we'll have to wait and see. But this is a great deal for Tottenham. A really, really good deal.
All right, and I've actually had another update just come through just before we let you guys go. And it's from Gary Jacob of The Times. And it says, Tottenham are ready to step up their interest in Gift Orban if Harry Kane does depart. Ghent have been hoping for a fee of around £23 million, but Spurs think that a deal could be done for about £20 million. So not much apart in valuation there from Gary Jacob, but I've said it many a time. I've said this many a time. I love this player. I think he's a top talent. I think if we don't go and sign him, he's going to go to someone like Leipzig or Atalanta or Dortmund or one of these teams next. And then in about a year or two times, he'll be worth about 80 million, something like that. I really believe in this guy's talent, and I'm praying that we bring him in. I really am. Do you know much about him?
So I didn't, but I heard you and I've heard others, and I did go watch a lot of him last night, and I'm really excited by this. Really excited by this. And do you remember yesterday you and Simeon asked me the question, if we sold Kane, what do you do with the money? I forgot to mention one player again with it. I would take Tosin, I would take Gift, and I'd also go get Alex Scott. Then
apparently I think Alex Scott's about to go to Bournemouth or something.
Yeah, but the thing you see, I've got a theory behind Alex Scott. We get back to. I think Spurs know, him being a Spurs fan, that if we come in, he'll come to us. Like if it's between. So I reckon. I seriously think that Daniel Levy and the club are letting whatever team do all the business and get the fee down to whatever it is. Save us all the work. Let's say it's 20 million. Let's just pretend. And Bournemouth have bid accepted for 20 million. They'll be like, all right, that's the number. Here we go, 20 million. And we'll see down to Alex. I really think we're waiting. Like Luis Diaz did with Liverpool. We did the work and then they swooped. I've got a funny feeling. But getting back to Gift Orban, for me, number one choice.
Yeah.
Number one choice. I mean, the youth, the power, everything. And we're getting ready to step up our interest, yeah? You've got to think there's
this has gone past the monitoring stage. We're stepping up interest now.
we're alluring him to the club. But this is the thing. Again, we started talking, middle of this, we were talking about the Iranian, and now another update has come in about like we were talking before, I just think this Harry Kane is a long way from finishing. But if it was, seeing Gift Orban in a Spurs shirt would be phenomenal.
Yeah, completely agree. Get him in, people. Get
Yes.
him in. But what you were saying about Alex Scott, I think the price is 25 million. I think they're about to do a deal for. So we've got to be quick if we want to get in there,
Yeah.
to be honest. So look, we'll have to see if any news breaks. If any more news breaks today, we will bring it to you here first on We Are Tottenham TV. Brian, thank you so much for coming on today. You want to tell the
My
people what's
pleasure.
going on Tottenham on tour this week?
Yeah, there'll be
week?
quite a bit this week or next week coming. Yeah, I mean, we're waiting. Me and Ben Kaufman did a video about Van der Ven and Ashley Phillips. Just waiting for Brian to upload it. It'll be open up today. Tomorrow there will be anger management after the Shakhtar game, and there's going to be quite a lot from us this week. So go over and check out Tottenham on Tour.
All right. Big up, Brian. Thanks for coming on. We'll speak to you all very soon. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, you
Come on,
Spurs.
you Spurs.